This is episode 37 of the Emmanuel Forum for this coming week, November 17th, 2024. And we have reached the final session in our series on being Lutheran. Today we're exploring a concept that is central to Lutheran teaching. That is the doctrine of vocation. For Lutherans, vocation goes far beyond any one job or career. It's a calling that shapes our whole lives. And Martin Luther emphasized that every Christian has a vocation from God, a unique role in God's world that serves others and reflects God's love. Vocation is not limited to pastors or deacons or church workers. It's a call of every believer to live faithfully right where they are. The word vocation comes from the Latin vocare, which means to call. For Lutherans, vocation is about responding to God's call to serve God and our neighbors in our everyday lives. Luther taught that every role we have in life, whether as parents, friends, workers, community members, citizens, is a part of God's calling. Each role is an opportunity to live out our faith and to participate in God's work in the world. Luther's view on vocation was revolutionary at the time. In his time, people thought of religious life as separate from everyday life. Only priests and monks or nuns were seen as, quote, called by God. Luther, however, believed that God calls everyone. Every Christian, no matter their station in life, can live out their vocation with purpose and meaning. Vocation is about finding ways to live faithfully in whatever tasks, roles, or situations we're placed in, seeing our entire lives as service to God. For Lutherans, vocation is closely tied to the idea of loving and serving our neighbors. Jesus calls us to love our neighbors as ourselves, from Mark 12, verse 31. And vocation is the practical way to do this. In our families, workplaces, and communities, we have countless opportunities to show compassion and kindness and generosity to those around us. Luther described vocation as the masks of God, meaning that in our everyday roles, we become God's hands and feet. God's work, our hands, serving others even in the most simple acts of kindness. So whether you're a teacher, a caregiver, an artist, a business person, a retiree, each role that you and I play can be an expression of God's love. And Luther taught that a parent raising children, a farm worker cultivating crops, or a worker creating something with their hands is doing work that is just as sacred as preaching or teaching in the church. This view of vocation brings incredible value to every type of work and interaction, helping us see that we don't have to be in the church setting or on the church campus to serve God faithfully. Vocation also plays out in our relationships. As spouses, parents, children, friends, neighbors, we have unique roles that call us to live in love and serve those closest to us. Luther believed that these relationships are some of the most important places and situations where God is calling us to act. In our families and friendships, we can show God's love by listening, by encouraging, helping, supporting each other. The Lutheran view of vocation teaches us that caring for those around us is a sacred responsibility, a way of living out our faith. For example, being a faithful spouse or a supportive friend is an expression of vocation. These roles offer countless opportunities to show love, to practice forgiveness, to be a source of encouragement. When you serve others in these personal relationships, you're living out your faith in ways that are just as meaningful as public ministry, as pastors and deacons. In addition to relationships, vocation also includes work. And Luther saw all honest work as a way to serve God and to serve the neighbor. And he encouraged Christians to approach their jobs as an opportunity to live out faith. Luther believed in the dignity of all work. That meant whether someone was a craftsman, a farmer, a teacher, a dishwasher, a baker, they could see their work as a calling from God. The work we do doesn't have to be spiritual in nature to be more valuable to God. What matters is that we do it with integrity and diligence and most of all, love. Lutherans believe that in our work, we can make a difference, no matter how small the task may seem. If our work benefits others, if it fulfills a need, if it contributes to our community, it can be a powerful expression of faith. Our communities are another place where vocation comes to life. We're called to be active, engaged citizens, contributing to the welfare of society and advocating for justice and compassion. Lutherans believe that being involved in our neighborhoods, in our schools, in our local organizations is a part of our calling. And through acts of service, through volunteering, through working for the common good, we live out our faith and we reflect God's love to others around us. In Luther's view, Christians are called to be a positive influence wherever they are, to promote peace, kindness, fairness. This might mean caring for a neighbor in need, or supporting a local charity, or participating in a community event. But by bringing Christ's love into your community, you are a witness to the faith and you contribute to the flourishing of all people, of the whole community. Luther's understanding of vocation offers this deep, meaningful way to approach your daily life. Knowing that every aspect of your life, your relationships, your work, your involvement in the community can be lived out as a response to God's call, fills your day with purpose. It encourages you to live joyfully, seeing each day as an opportunity to serve God and neighbor. Vocation also brings peace, knowing that you don't have to earn God's love or approval through your work. God's grace is a free gift. And your vocation, whatever it is a simple way to live in response to that grace that God has given you. Luther encouraged us Christians to embrace our vocations with humility, knowing that all we do is in God's hands. This means that our purpose and our value don't depend on our achievements, but rather our willingness to serve in faith in whatever role God has placed us in. Vocation reminds us that living a faithful life doesn't have to be this extraordinary thing. God especially works through the ordinary, the everyday actions of people, whether you're helping a neighbor, just listening to a friend, or doing your job the best you can. Luther often said that our daily work, however simple it is the way to live out our faith. The beauty of vocation is that it invites you to see God's presence in those small moments, knowing that every act of love and patience and kindness reflects God's grace for you. So as we wrap up this session on vocation and this whole series on being Lutheran, remember that vocation is not about finding a single perfect calling. It's about seeing every part of your life as a response to God's love for you. Whether you're in your family or at work or in your community or on the golf course or at happy hour, you have countless opportunities to serve God and your neighbor with joy and with purpose. And each of you has a unique role in God's world, a vocation that allows you to live out your faith in a practical, meaningful way. As Lutherans, we believe that our lives are lived before God in everything we do. And through the lens of vocation, we are called to be God's witnesses, sharing God's love and grace in the simple, faithful ways we serve day in and day out. Oh, thank you so much for joining us through this journey on being Lutheran. We hope this series has deepened your understanding of what it means to live as a follower of Jesus and the Lutheran tradition, seeing all life as a response to God's boundless grace. If you liked this video on vocation, if you liked our whole series, please hit that thumbs up button. That way the algorithm on YouTube shares it with other people. If you haven't subscribed yet, it's free to do so. Just search on YouTube for Emmanuel Lutheran Church in Venice, Florida. And please feel free to share these videos and this whole series with your friends and your neighbors. The more we can get it out, the more people that learn about God's grace and love and how it transforms us to do God's work in this world, the better and the further God's kingdom will be. Thank you again. And remember, God is with you. Take care.